let's look at what we have from Patience Osaogiwa. She says some wards collation officers with the result sheets leaving to their various local government areas. That's coming from Patience Osaogiwa. She's covering one of the local government, and as you can see from this footage, they're leaving the collation centers now to their various local government areas where these materials will be used. I'm sure the materials have already got into these local government areas where these materials will be used, and we'll keep tabs so we can get live update from Patience Osaogiwa in the course of this program. Yes, some wards collation officers with result sheets leaving to their various local government area. You know, that's a very critical component of the conduct of election. That's usually where there's always altercation and then disagreement and fight. Result sheets. All right. So if they are going to the various centers now with the result sheets, I'm sure this is done in good faith to ensure that nothing untoward happens to the result sheet, and the result sheet gets to where they are supposed to be used, and everybody will just be fine. Yes, let me come to you now, Prof. Yes. In terms of stability in governance being linked or being directly proportional to the stability of the State House of Assembly, how true is that?
It doesn't go that way. Unfortunately, that is what is happening. Recently, a state governor made a statement that to the effect that you know, indigents of that state should vote for all House of Assembly members because of the belief that so that governance will be easier, you know, for him to operate, which is wrong.
Okay, let's join Thomas Sado live. Thomas, good morning. Thanks for joining the live studios. Where are you? Good morning. Where are you at now, and what can you tell us?
I've been to 3 places this morning.
Okay.
I have been to Idwo Primary School. I have been to UBTH. And right now I'm at Yoba Secondary School. Okay. There's one thing that is common of all of these 3 things that I have seen, is that the turnout today of voters is lower when compared to that of the presidential election. It is very low. So it's like most people do not come out today to exercise their franchise, maybe because they don't know the importance of the House of Assembly election. No, so that's something I noticed. In some areas they started voting already, like Idwo now it has started. UBTH, they are all queued up. Whereas in Yoba Secondary School, the same thing. But one thing that's common of the 3 of them is that the turnout is poor compared to the last 2 weeks.
Okay, there's something we've also observed from all the reports coming in, which is that election materials and officials got to the various polling centers between 7 and 7:30. Actual voting and accreditation commenced by 8 o'clock. Can you say the same for these areas that you mentioned? Can you say the same thing?
Yes, I think in that area of dispatch of logistics and the rest of that, I think there's a vast improvement. Okay. When you put it side by side with what happened 2 weeks ago, the presidential election. So everybody, they are voting, they are accredited, and I think there's a very vast improvement compared to last week.
All right, thank you, Thomas Sado. We'll keep tabs with you to get more updates. Thank you. Thomas Sado there, just one of our field officers, so to speak, monitoring the conduct of the elections. The report, which ran like a thread around those 3 areas that he visited, was that the turnout was pretty poor compared to what happened at the presidential and National Assembly elections 2 weeks ago. What the reasons are, I'm sure our panelists will be able to just guess that out in the course of this discussion. But we just need to wait a little bit more and see what's coming in from other reporters that are on the ground monitoring this election. Prof, I'm back to you now.
Yes, so, my colleague just made a point that the quality of people that represent us in parliament is very, very important. Now, you would have expected that the people will be happy that they are well represented in view of the number of opposition in the House. But you see, with the Nigeria experience, which is most unfortunate, most governors work along this line of let all members of the State House of Assembly come from its own political party. And by so doing, bills are passed easily, we have an easy ride and all that and all that. But is that democracy? You see, democracy ought to have represent the interests of the people, your constituency. Those that represent you in parliament ought to have what you call equality representation. Okay. But that is not what we're experiencing. So I think those politicians in hands of affairs, especially the governors, even up to the president, they should realize that when we have quality debates in the various houses of assembly, even up to Senate and House of Reps, is for the interest of the people at the end of the day. Okay. The people will be better be represented. This attitude of let all members of parliament come from my party so that bills can easily be passed is not the best. And we are aware that even in most cases, hands are greased for these bills to be passed. So we does not represent the interests of the people that they are supposed to be representing.
Okay, we brought Omowa Jonah's report earlier, and he's joining us live now from Ondo State. Omowa Jonah, good morning. Thank you for joining the live studio. Could you tell us what the situation is in Ondo State?
Good morning. The situation in Ondo Senatorial District, in all the wards and units visited, has been so peaceful. It's not nice compared to the presidential and the National Assembly elections.
Okay, how would you describe the level of turnout of voters?
So massive.
Massive.
It's an indication that the voter education that we are giving to the electorate here is playing out.
Comparatively to the presidential and National Assembly elections.
Yes, this one is massive and more orderly. All the candidates are functioning properly. There has not been any complaint.
Okay.
Tell us about logistics in terms of arrival of voting materials and INEC officials.
Yes, as early as 7 o'clock, the INEC officials and materials were already on ground. They were waiting for the electorate to start to come, so that they will start the voting. As early as 8 o'clock, the voting, accreditation and voting started.
Thank you very much, Omowa Jonah. We'll keep tabs with you and get more updates in the course of this program.
All right.
Thank you. All right, that's some Cherry news from Ondo State. And specifically, he said the large turnout could be attributed to the level of mobilization, sensitization, and education of the voters to come out. They're not. One of the 7 states that are not participating in the governorship.
According to plan.
Yes. Prof, you were saying something.
Yes, I was saying that in this idea of not having opposition, a very good opposition in houses of assembly, state houses of assembly, is not the best because it's like the governor and the members of the House of Assembly, they are just working.
So, Prof, are you recommending the executive one party, the State House of Assembly another party?
No, there should be a mix-up.
There should be a mix-up.
Yes, there should be it should be a misdegree, of opposition. And you see, like my friend was saying just now, when an opposition is a member of the House, from our experiences here in this country, is being harassed, is seen as a black sheep, is seen as somebody that is a clog in the wheel of progress. And anytime he comes to make a point, is halted down and all that. I don't think it's the best. That does not give quality, governance, for the people by the time they start to do that. So I think when there's an opposition, it makes democracy more interesting, because the person that is in opposition may have quality statements, may make quality statements, may even make statements that would be for the overall interest of the state and not necessarily his constituency. So I think it should be encouraged instead of it to be discouraged. By the time he does that, then the governor will not be on his feet. The governor will now make sure that he work according to the interests of the people, in the state is governing. But by the time he starts to have a free ride, then
it will stray away.
Yes, the people suffer, and at the end of the day, the so-called issue.
All right, let's bring you up to speed with a live update from Best in Biere, from Ugbowo Primary School. Best, if you're ready, over to you.
Very shocking. Long comments, but the voters are not here to cast their votes. Very few of them that turn up in the early hours of today, they've voted for the candidate of their choice, and the INEC officials, as you can see behind me, are just seated waiting for electorate to come around. We don't know what could be responsible for this, but I have one voter here who just decided this franchise, who may be telling us what probably could be responsible for this. Why do you think there's no turnout today?
The reason I see last presidential election, people come out massively to vote for their candidate. At the end of the day now, who we expected to not emerge a winner, the people have discouraged. That's the reason they did not come out. That's my own vote. And the other people came early, 7:17, that's after 15 minutes after 7. I've passed my vote now. I'm about to go home now. Thank you.
All right, he just said that perhaps it is the outcome of the presidential election that may have discouraged some persons from coming, but we do hope that it's still early in the day and the voters would turn up to exercise their franchise before 2 p.m. We'll be joining you again in the studio.
Thank you, Best Biere, for that report. That came from Ugbowo Primary School, low turnout of voters, and one of the interviews there is saying that, well, that could be the outcome of the last election result. But that's a personal opinion, and he has a right to express it as it were. But Prof, I mean, Sir Adam, you need to say something.
When Prof talked about opposition or a governor wanting all members to key into his own government, it's a pity that now that we are at variance with the status quo ante. Because in parliamentary democracy, opposition is a vital factor. If you are a member of opposition, you are introduced as a member of opposition. If you are a leader of opposition, Awolowo was leader of opposition, but yet he was as popular everything. But now the nearest they can say of it is that a minority leader, and they just whittle down that opposition is an integral part of democracy. There must be opposition to keep the government in toes and watch. And you are proud with that nomenclature. You are a member of opposition, you introduce yourself as such. You are a leader of opposition, you are proud to be, and that's the ultimate. But now we don't hear of the word again, as Professor Lee said. If you are a member of opposition, you are declared an enemy, which ought not to be. Everyone is elected for the welfare of the people. Salus populi, suprema lex. The welfare of the people is supreme law. Opposition should not be guillotined. They should be encouraged, and they themselves should be proud, even though they are a minority, to be regarded as members of opposition.
All right, Prof. Our democracy is dotted with stories of instances where you have the parliament having more numbers of opposition, and that tends to put the executive constantly in a state of fear, because of threats of impeachment. And so you have the executive fighting the battle of his life. I mean, take for example at the national level, you have the Saraki saga, as it were. I don't know what your thoughts are along those lines in this governance stability that we're talking about.
Well, the constitutional lawyer is here. The major thing there is the abuse of power. You are not in parliament in majority, and then the government is in minority, to begin to threaten impeachment. That is not the essence of governance. It's only when there's a problem where the oath of office taken by the governor or the president has been abused, then you can begin an impeachment process. But it's not that easy as we see it. But in 1999, when we began this kind of constitutional experiment, impeachment became the order of the day. Yeah. Threats of impeachment also became the order of the day. Simply because people were basically looking for money. They threatened that if you don't do this for us, we are going to impeach you. And then the governor begins to panic. And he begins to scoop the resources of the state. The state's need resources to settle those threats. And that has been part of the Nigerian democracy for the past 20 years. We need to stop it. It must come to an end. And I'm sure the next generation of politicians will not think that way. But basically, democracy is a way of life.
Let me just pause you there for a moment, yes. Prof. I'll come back to you. We have this feed now. It's coming from Deborah Ogbefon, Staff Training Center, Ward 2, Unit 2, GRA area of already local government area, Edo Central Senatorial District. And she says accreditation and voting have commenced. But as you can see from the video, low turnout. Voters are not out yet, so to speak. I'm just saying one person sitting down, and I'm sure this person would have since voted and gone. But the INEC officials are just there doing nothing. But let's look at this. Yes, this is a model, so to speak.
For this, there's something happening. It means even the party members themselves, they have lost confidence in their own party. Even party agents.
Even party agents.
Yes, they have lost confidence in themselves. What kind of thing is this? You see, one expects that the first set of people to mobilize to go and vote are party members, supporters. You mobilize people. Before now, you have been campaigning, and then you have the opportunity to mobilize your party members, and first, those in sympathy with you to go to the police center, then to go and cast their votes. But as you can see now, it's a clear demonstration of the failure of the parties themselves to even mobilize at ward levels. So it's a problem with the ward leaders. It's a problem with the ward officials. And these are people that benefit from the party financially, in quote, let me put it that way. Because if the party has anything to do, they first attend to the party. Well,
isn't that something that also gives concerns about level of, the level of political education of our people? I mean, the story from Ondo, for example, by Mowa Jonah, quite different. Quite different. So, yeah, Prof.
In Ondo State, you see, the Yorubas, they are highly urbanized people, the Yorubas. And with the level of education and thinking, you know what to do. The older people know what happened. They voted for PDP, had majority, and they knew what happened when the new governor came in. And they want to also ensure that they have control of the House of Assembly. They're highly educated people, and they are sound. But in Edo State, you see, things happen, it doesn't matter, walk back in our way here. You know, our people always think that way, and it's wrong.
Okay, let me bring Professor Jiwere in here, looking at some of the pictures, the videos coming in. Very poor turnout of voters so far. We don't know what the situation will be like. I mean, by the time the voting accreditation ends by 12 noon or thereabout, depends on 2 p.m. today. When that comes to a close, we don't know how. But so far, so good. It's not really encouraging.
Yes, if we go back to the presidential election, as early as 8, 9, the whole place was jam-packed. So I think there's this apathy, you know, like one of the respondents said, you know, that people felt, well, the other election, our expectation was dashed. Therefore, what's the point coming to vote again? The thing has been decided, you know, but it's a wrong perception.
Okay.
But that is the attitude of the voters, you know, at the moment. And if you also take into consideration the fact that Edo State is only involved in, though we can say maybe on those states, they are also not having governorship election. I think the level of education, you know, is very, very important. Does it mean these party supporters, you know, their own is just to collect and don't do what they're
or they're not even in existence.
or they're not even in existence.
Yes, because when this party is holding its rally, you find them there. This other one holding its rally, you find them there. So you really want to find out where exactly are they?
Today, where are they today?
Today, where are they today? That's the question for us. Today, so where are they? All right, let's take you back to Patience Osaogiwa. She spoke with the resident electoral commissioner of those state, Dr. Hart, who briefed journalists on plans carried out so far for this exercise. He also answered questions on why there much checking points around INEC office when compared to that of the presidential and National Assembly elections. Patience, is over to you now.
By midday, we had completed the assignment. So, well, as I speak with you, voting has started. Has started in all the local governments. As early as 6 o'clock this morning, I had a call that they were ready, waiting for security agencies. That's what mineral materials, the various units. And as I speak with you, things are normal in our population. Security, they have reported and they have transported the materials in the various units.
So, sir, do you have any plan of going outside or going out today?
Why not?
Okay, Patience Osaogiwa talking with the State Resident Electoral Commission, Dr. Hart, who responded to quite a number of questions. Seeing him in the office, a bit more relaxed compared to the presidential national assembly election. Yes, it's a bit more relaxed. I mean, last time by this time was already on the field, and then issues started coming up. But he certainly will go out later on just to have first-hand information about the conduct of the election. As you're already aware, in Edo State, no governorship election. It's just the State House of Assembly election. But so far, so good. The reports coming in really not encouraging. Scanty polling centers.
At least in Edo State.
Yes, in Edo State. That's what I said. Scanty polling centers. INEC officials are waiting for the electorate to come out. And we talked about the level of political education, particularly on the part of the political parties. What is the level of mobilization of their members to come to polling centers? For me, this assessment, this is just an assessment of it. You don't need anybody to tell you anything otherwise, except it changes between 2 o'clock. By Saddam Salih.
Now, it's very unfortunate, but we expect the agencies to kickstart the political education, like National Orientation Agency. I saw them in some advertisement, they even took road trek, etc. agencies, but the most important factor to mobilize voters is the party. Because for governorship elections, Section 65 is saying that you must belong to a political party. You must be fielded by that party. So the party itself should not rest on its oars. We have ward leaders, elders. I don't know if the godfathers are still there of political parties. They ought to work and mobilize and sensitize their people to come out and vote. Now there are leaders, there are no followers. In fact, we even hear the acronym, say party leader, party leader. We have never heard of party follower. So no followers to come out, but everybody is entitled to one vote. So the party leaders should wake up from their slumber, sensitize and mobilize their people to go and vote, because voting is predicated on the superiority of numbers. A professor's vote is not superior to a beggar or an employed youth vote. Everyone has one vote.
Yes. So okay. You remember what I was Remember what I was saying earlier?
Yeah.
That the trend at which we are going in our democratic experiment is dangerous. Dangerous in the sense that when this democratic culture, philosophy is not imbibed in the people, you are making a mockery of democracy by the highest bidder coming into office. People who don't have quality leadership, they come with money bags, they hijack the whole process, and before you know it, they become, the people's leaders. And at the end of the day, what happens? These people, of course, they won't give the best of governance, to the people they are supposed to be representing. So at the end of the day, the electorate have now come to the conclusion that, hey, whether you go there or not, the best of the contestant will not emerge. So what is the point? So this is, hugely responsible for the apathy, besides the political education we have been talking about.
Okay. All right. Benson.
Yes. Let me quickly say three things here in connection with this political apathy. Number one, I don't know whether many of us observed it, but I did. Today's candidates did not campaign. Themselves.
Candidates did not.
They didn't campaign.
So you're the party campaigning
for them. Many people don't know them. So the question is, you're leaving your house. Who are you going to vote for? Okay. They don't know them. They don't know. They didn't campaign as such. So nobody knows who they are. So if I don't know who I'm going to vote for, why should I leave? That's one. I said three. The second one is, there have been threats of recent that look at what happened at the last election. If this should not repeat itself.
Okay, we have from Edo North Senatorial District, McDonald Aeronohai is live. McDonald, good morning. Thank you for joining our live studios.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm calling presently. I'm at Aginipude. I have visited Ward 1, 6, 9, and 10. I'm presently at Ward 7, Unit 1, that's Gilde. Materials are here, but the turnout is a bit low. While in Unit 6, 9, and 10, the turnout was impressive. For the Unit 7, for the Ward 7, like I said, the turnout is a bit low. But in one of the wards, the material didn't arrive early, which is Otame.
What was the reason why the materials didn't arrive early? Was any reason given?
There was no evil annex or anybody to the place was boy. But as I was driving towards Aginipude, I saw the material going there. That's about 8:45. So it means I will not check on my way back to confirm if they have started.
But generally, the election is peaceful. Is that the report?
Yes. In all the units I've visited, the election is peaceful. But we are recording impressive turnout and low turnout.
Also, a mixed record for the turnout, so to speak.
The turnout from the unit is higher than the way I have a low turnout.
All right. Thank you very much, McDonald Aeronohai.
Thank you very much, sir.
We'll keep tabs with you and get more updates in the course of the program.
All right, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, we were talking about voter apathy.
Yes.
The three things I said. So I recap again. The first one has to do with the fact that the candidates
didn't campaign enough, but some did.
Some did, but some did not.
Okay.
So they're not well known.
Okay.
Two, we're looking at threats and intimidation arising from the outcome of the results of the last election. There have been threats, there have been intimidation, and so people just made up their mind, why threatening me because I'm here? Because somebody didn't win or somebody won, and so you are threatening, you are intimidating, you are harassing us, threatening businesses. In fact, there was even a case of where a particular business center, like a market, was threatening to be put down.
Oh, yes, sir.
Because people didn't go out to vote for a particular
because people
party.
voted their minds in the last election.
Yes, they voted their will.
Okay.
So this is what they want. Then the third one, which is very important, has to do with party rallies and the kind of crowd that you see there. If that crowd is not a hired crowd, then I expect that the same people will come out today and vote. But because those crowds are hired and they are paid for it, go and mobilize 1,000, 2,000, and 3,000 or whatever, and so after the exercise, they disappear.
They are not committed.
They're not committed. They just vanish to the thin air. And so when it comes to the real business of electing, casting your vote, that same crowd, you don't find them because the crowd is supposed to be your party members and supporters.
Exactly.
You don't find them today. I mean, from what we have seen so far, particularly in reports on those states, not elsewhere, you find this kind of a thing. So it's a cause for concern. How do we mobilize our people to go and vote? And when people are going to vote, they also determine, their voting is also determined by their own interest. What exactly do we want? What are we benefiting from this government? Let me take an example. The rain that fell last week, well, the havoc was not as much as it would have been if it was rainy season. People are saying, more around town has been complaining. These problems are here. Before the rainy season starts, go and take care of it. Up till now, nothing has happened. That's people who live in that area. Do you think they will, because their interest is not taken care of by government, do you think they will go out and vote? They won't go out and vote. They just believe that if you vote for them, you are suffering here. You have abandoned our houses. These are our problems. What is the benefit of democracy to us? So they stay back. Okay. These are some of the problems, sir.
Okay.
The apathy is equally related to people not being proud to belong to a certain political party. In other civilized climes, you are in Labour Party in summer and winter. But here in the morning, you are in Party A. Afternoon, you are in Party B. In the evening, you come back to the same party. And casting your vote today now shows where you belong to. So when people are already committed to many parties, their hands have been spoiled, they can even determine to stay aloof by not going at all. Whereas ordinarily, a conservative party member remains a correct member. We attend rally, we go and vote, we have the manifesto. The manifestos are not even there, which is very unfortunate. Nowadays, we don't have manifestos. Exactly. Otherwise, the former parties in the earlier republics, you have this free education, free this, one nation, one destiny. Aminu Kano was talking of key to use in open door. But here now, the manifestos are not known. There are real no bona fide members who are proud to belong to that party because they can jump ship at any time. APC in the morning, PDP in the afternoon.
All right, Prof, final word from, because we're taking a break now in this session before we continue. Voter apathy, there seems to be the major story coming in now in some places, but we're yet to give you a national outlook of the conduct of the election. That will be coming up in the second half of this discussion on the governorship and state assembly polls. Yeah, Prof.
Yes, I think they should make voters to be proud that we are now enjoying a democratic system. We are supposed to be enjoying democratic system of government as compared to some other countries that are ruled by the military. But you see, the players of democracy in this country are not living up to expectation, because it's not a case of the highest bidder. Those who can carry good money, they eventually win, offices in a democratic experience. So I think they should, if they realize that democracy should be something people should embrace and enjoy the dividends, as we observe in advanced democracies like the US, Britain, Canada, and the rest of them. And when they realize that, I think they will play democracy by the rules, and the people will be happier. And this apathy we are seeing today will not be, it's supposed to be a thing of joy. And if it's a thing of joy, people will come out to express that joy, instead of this apathy thing we are experiencing right now.
Thank you very much. It's still Nigeria Decides live studios of independent television and radio this beautiful Saturday morning, giving you live updates of the conduct of the election from across the 18 local government areas of the state. In some of the centers visited so far, the response level has not been encouraging in Edo State, but in Ondo State, it's been quite good. Massive turnout of voters in that state. We'll be showing you more of that in the course of the program. When we return after this timeout, we'll also be giving you a national outlook of the conduct of the election. But just by the way, you have a video to send on what's happening where you're voting. You can use the WhatsApp number 0803-872-6759. 0803-872-6759. The number is on your screen. Take it down, send us a report, eyewitness report of what's happening in your neighborhood from anywhere you are in the country. Once again, we thank you for joining us. We'll be back with you in just a couple of minutes. We will be here to anchor that one. Stay tuned.